These were the first ones we even came across. We didn't even search.
Well, maybe you should search a little bit more, and you might find more, and then you can give it to me, and then I'll handle it.
I have given them to...
You just heard Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson issuing a challenge to News 5 back in May. Find more problems with the city's $600,000 study grading the condition of every city street. Well, tonight we can say challenge accepted. We have told you about a lot of new problems we found in the pavement management study since that encounter.
Yeah, and our On Your Side investigator Jonathan Walsh has a new round of discrepancies tonight. Shows us why it's so important for the city to get this together.
When starting out...
Remember this? Issues with the initial road we checked after Mayor Frank Jackson's challenge.
On the first stop we made, we found this problem. So the city is making some progress. It wasn't the first random street this time around that we found problems with. It was the second. And this, folks, is a perfect street according to the city of Cleveland.
The city's commission report says Otter Avenue on the east side is a 100. However, otters could probably go swimming in the pools created by the potholes.
Well, I almost lost a tire.
Mark White works right beside Otter, drives it frequently, can't believe it's a perfect street.
How do you feel about taxpayer money going towards a study that isn't correct?
Well, this won't be the first time taxpayer money went to something that isn't correct.
It's not a perfect street. They haven't been here to pave it or anything. They just fill cracks.
Tim Holt is angry about his street, East 123rd, from Iowa to Taft. Rated 100, but it has too many problems to even mention.
It makes no sense. They should be doing their dang on job. And then when we hit the chuck holes and everything else, they won't fix it.
The big problem is when it's time to review what streets need to be repaved, a road already rated 100 will get passed over.
Look for yourself. It's nothing but patches everywhere, all down the daggone street.
East 84th to the end, a 100 grade on the pavement management study done by Baker International. But look at the numerous problems, including a sewer grate filled with asphalt.
It's unfortunate again and again and again.
Get on the ball, do your job. Do your job. You collect the money. What you doing with it?
Another perfect road, according to the study, complete with potholes and crumbling chunks of asphalt. Every time we go out and spot check, we find more and more problems, which makes the $600,000 study less and less accurate. I'm On Your Side investigator Jonathan Walsh.
And On Your Side investigators have once again contacted the mayor's office for a response with the taxpayer-funded road study. And once again, not a word from the city.
I have people who can talk to you about your assumptions and your...
It's not an assumption that we're proving time and time again.
Road rage of a different kind. Cleveland keeps fixing roads that neighbors say are perfectly fine, while other broken roads riddled with potholes sit in disrepair with no help in sight.
And people don't like it. Our ongoing 5 On Your Side investigation, broken roads, broken system, found it all comes back to questionable decisions made by city leaders. After our requests for an interview were repeatedly denied, 5 On Your Side investigator Jonathan Walsh finally caught up with Mayor Frank Jackson.
Believe it or not, once again, on the very first street we're checking, this is Star Avenue, we're finding problems with the city of Cleveland following its own strategy. They say they're doing the absolute worst streets first, but even the people who live on this street say it shouldn't be on the list. Is this one of the worst streets in Cleveland?
It's not one of the worst streets in Cleveland.
Antoinette Carter lives on Star Avenue, can't understand why money is being wasted repaving her street.
It bothers me that we pay taxes and you don't really see your resources. You don't see your money.
Take a look for yourself. Is this worse than the nearby Western Avenue, which continues to see no work crews? And how about Zoder Avenue, which is on the list to be repaved?
There's much worse streets than this.
Ronnie Green, another resident, doesn't get the street selection process. City leaders say they ride the streets evaluating roads for resurfacing.
They said they drive around, you couldn't have to pick a street like this first.
When we've tried to get interviews with Mayor Frank Jackson, the communications department says no. But we don't take no for an answer.
We've made several attempts to talk to you on camera about this process.
Well, and I'm saying to you, I agree. I think the process is valid. I think the process is working, and I disagree with...
We have proven otherwise, though. I mean, we have numerous examples. East 102nd, East 53rd, East 143rd, Starkweather, Rutledge, I mean, Star, Zoder. I mean, there are many that your constituents are asking, why is my street being done?
Again, I'm glad that they asked that. I'm glad they asked, why is this street? I've never heard a constituent ask, why are you serving me?
You haven't been watching our reports.
Not this one. This shouldn't worry about this one yet. This should be one of the last streets.
I don't see anything wrong with the street.
I have people who can talk to you about your assumptions and your...
It's not an assumption, though. We're proving time and time again.
Again, I have people who deal with those details who can talk to you about that, but
we're not gaining access to those people. Your communications department has denied us several interviews. I have email upon email of them denying us on-camera interviews with anybody.
Why don't you send it again, see if they deny you again.
This isn't even mentioning our recent check of Linwood from 65th to 70th, a street with one pothole. But it was on the list to be repaved. It's enough to make residents upset.
Get it right. Charging us money. Get it right.
When you wanted to be elected, you told us that you would do whatever we needed. Well, we need a lot of stuff. And it's just time to start moving and stop talking about it.
I'm 5 on your side investigator, Jonathan Walsh.
And shortly after our talk with Mayor Jackson, the mayor's office contacted us to work out a sit-down interview. We will let you know if and when that happens.
Tonight, an exclusive investigation. Pothole problems in Cleveland, problems that will only get worse as this winter moves on. And if you hit a hole in Cleveland, you could get money for the damage it does to your car. That is, if you meet the city's criteria. But as we've shown you with our 2-year-long investigation, Broken Road, Broken System, there are major issues with not only how Cleveland repairs your roads, but how it tracks the maintenance. And 5 on your side investigator Jonathan Walsh learned it doesn't get any better when it comes to tracking pothole complaints.
It reverberated, the whole bridge shook. I mean, it was a huge hole.
Jason Meaner, former Uber driver, hit a pothole on the Detroit Superior Bridge. He asked the city of Cleveland for nearly $2,300 for the repairs. The city said no.
It was rough. That was my means of income at the time. You know, I was driving for Uber to make extra money.
In the denial form letter, they said they had no knowledge of the pothole before Jason hit it. And that's the way it goes. In order to pay for damages from a pothole, the city says it has to know about the pothole prior to you hitting it. So that means you have to pray that your neighbor has suffered first. Well, your neighbors have been reporting the rim rattlers. Hundreds of claims we dug into filed during a 1.5-year time frame, and some beyond that.
You can see that there has been damage to it.
In the sea of reports, we found the city of Cleveland did not pay on 81% of the claims. A few of the potholes were not in city limits. The overwhelming majority, though, no knowledge. But we found...
When you see that it's happened so many times...
Well, maybe they did know about Jason's.
I don't see how something like that could happen overnight.
In fact, our research shows the Detroit Superior Bridge, where Jason hit that pothole, is a problem spot. We found 28 pothole claims for that bridge, and 4 of those claims came before Jason's. Not one was paid. We uncovered other examples, people just like Jason doing everything they could to inform the city and you about potholes. Claims included pictures that show large, cavernous holes, actual measurements, some with rebar and bricks exposed. Rocky River Drive near Lorraine, 5 people filing claims, same area. Ridge Road and 480, 2 people, same area. Fulton Road, 2 people reporting the same address within 2 days of each other. 2 more people on Fulton, same area. All of them denied. No payouts because the city claims it didn't know. But how could they not have known? Well, that remains a mystery. You see, the city's law department that makes decisions on payouts is sealed up, won't go on camera. We had to track down Mayor Frank Jackson.
Is it surprising, though, that 80% of the pothole claims, the city is saying we didn't know about them?
I don't know if it's surprising or not. I know that we don't know every pothole that exists.
Remember Jason? It appears they knew about his problem spot.
We know there are quite a few of them out there.
Yeah, and they're deep and causing damage.
Go.
Geraldine Nygren was on the go.
It was horrifying.
Until she hit a massive hole.
It was a miracle that I did not fall. I would have been upward.
On West 122nd last year.
I almost felt like I hit one of those recyclable garbage cans that was full of cement.
She wanted money for being banged up, fixing her car, and losing wages. The city denied her claim.
And I was like, you don't have enough proof. I gave you a picture of this hole that is as wide as my car, is almost as tall as I am.
But even if she did get paid,
it was very frustrating.
We found people don't always get what they ask for. Take Mario Edwards. He's one of the lucky ones. He got $500, but he told me the pothole damage completely wrecked his car, and it was worth more than $500.
It's really crazy, you know what I mean? It's just really shocking, the way they do people.
And what they do is all over the place. We saw these payments given by the city. Driver asking for $867.53 got $218.25. Another driver asked for $824.49 and got $484.34. Even one guy asked for $125 and got $124.20. One of the major problems with the city knowing about potholes is that there were so many ways to report them. Dialing 311, calling the mayor's action line, reporting it on the city's website, calling council members. There was no centralized location funneling all of these different complaints into one box. That is about to change.
CityWorks has probably been in as a work management system for 3 or 4 years in utilities.
Cleveland's chief operating officer, Darnell Brown, says for the first time ever, this season, the city is using tracking software called CityWorks to help with pothole registering.
One of the advantages of the CityWorks application is it is accessible in the call center. It is available at the Division of Streets. The Mayor's Action Center will have access to CityWorks, so it would all be going into a central repository for information.
Cleveland has been dealing with potholes for decades. Prior to this season, Chief Brown says pothole info would go into different databases. Now, with this new management system,
generally you get a significant increase in production, performance, and efficiency, anywhere from 15 to 25%.
The system should help the city be more informed about the existing potholes out there, something that could have benefited Jason and Geraldine.
What proof do I have that that no one did report that pothole? I don't know for sure, you know, I mean, it's their word against yours.
Till this day, I really don't have much respect or believe in the city after that incident right there.
I'm 5 on Your Side investigator Jonathan Walsh.
And we have much more of our sit-down interview with Darnell Brown. You can get City of Cleveland pothole incident claim forms online. All of that information is on our News 5 app. So, have you ever heard the expression, same song, different verse? It describes a problem that appears to be repeating itself just in a different area.
And in tonight's Broken Roads, Broken System report, 5 on Your Side investigator Jonathan Walsh shows us when it comes to city leaders, that phrase might apply to Cleveland roads getting repaved this year.
Terrible, man. I done f***ed up my car plenty of times. The muffler done came off.
People are fired up about their terrible Cleveland streets. O'Shea lives on East 32nd.
You got to pay out your pocket, you feel me? Ain't nobody looking out for you, you feel me?
Ed May on East 31st.
A lot of people feel that their voice, nobody care about.
And Chad Kaiser works on East 36th.
Feels like the whole truck's going to fall apart sometimes.
We found a patching crew on East 36 on the day of our conversation with Chad. This patchwork is literally minutes old, and all it's done is created mounds on top of mounds. And East 36 is full of mounds on top of mounds on top of more mounds.
They just need to tear it all off and redo it.
What has been done in their Ward 7, several streets rated an F by the city of Cleveland in the eastern half of the ward. This street included East 94th, where the new city councilman, Bashir Jones, lives.
There ain't no way our street should be looking like that and his street all nice and smooth.
What they're telling me is the first thing you've done is get your street done.
No.
We asked Jones about our viewers, his constituents' concerns.
We have so many streets that are grade F,
yeah,
that you can only do but so much.
And you're one of the lucky ones.
I guess you consider me lucky.
Because you got your street done.
Yeah.
Jones said he did his street for the safety of the elderly and the kids there. He then said he wasn't lucky.
When you have so many streets that need to be done. It's not necessarily about luck.
And after saying he didn't get why people were upset with his road being repaved and not theirs, that's what they're telling me.
I don't know what you're saying.
He then said he does see their side.
But I understand why people feel this way, because they don't have any confidence in the political system.
I think things are going pretty well.
Councilman Ken Johnson represents Ward 4. He says he thinks the selection process for streets has been good.
It's a big city. Yeah, we got a lot of streets, and most of them are in bad shape.
The mayor's office selected Hampton Road in Ward 4 to be repaved. Some question, though, if it was really that bad. Councilman Johnson, who is, by the way, the chairman of the committee that oversees streets, lives on Hampton. Ken, we've heard from some people in your ward who are upset that you are doing your own street on Hampton. Is that one of the worst streets there that's getting done now?
Oh, no, it's not. The councilman didn't select that street. It was selected for me.
You agreed to it, though?
I agreed to it, yes. I agreed to it. And I think it needed doing.
Right. But you could see their frustration.
I could see their frustration, yes. And I don't blame them.
Another street in Johnson's ward, East 93rd from Cumberland to Woodland, is already done. No homes around it, but it does lead to the recreation center named after Ken Johnson.
That street needed to be done for the safety of these kids.
Almost 2 years ago, in our first Broken Roads, Broken System investigation, we showed you streets where 4 city councilmen lived and the mayor's road were repaved before thousands of DNF-graded streets. We also mentioned city leaders adding millions more dollars to its flawed paving system. And I said this. But will it be another cycle of Cleveland viewers asking me, what did we get for our money? And is it, here we go again? Council members do have support for their decisions on streets, like Judy Gorel, who lives on East 31st in Jones's ward.
Isn't that what everyone does? You take care of your own first. I'm still willing to give him a chance.
But everyone we talked to had the same message for all city leaders.
What you doing with all that money? Keep working. Let's get this one done, too.
Bashir, it needs to be done.
It should be relatively easy to figure out what to do first.
Get her done.
I'm 5 on Your Side investigator Jonathan Walsh.
Clear message there. Councilman Bashir Jones says the key to getting things done is to unite the ward. Councilman Johnson told us people need a little patience and their streets will get attention. Many people told us they have little patience when city leaders' streets are done while thousands of other streets are still rough riding. Now an exclusive 5 on Your Side investigation into highly questionable spending of your taxpayer dollars. Our ongoing investigation, Broken Roads, Broken System, into how Cleveland paves and maintains city streets, uncovered a decision by the city that has taxpayers asking why.
5 on Your Side investigator Jonathan Walsh follows the money from Cleveland to Houston. But he wants to know, did it need to go there in the first place?
You have to laugh to keep from being upset about it.
Every year, it actually gets worse.
It's like a crater.
Eventually, it's going to be a bad accident.
Well, I almost lost a tire.
Ancient ruins look better than this.
Help, please. We've shown you so many people upset with the condition of streets in Cleveland. Now, Danielle Glick on the west side.
Pisses me off.
Freddie Moore on the east side.
I'm pissed off about it.
Why are they so angry? Well, let's first take you back to February 23rd.
We are clear that our streets are messed up.
Cleveland City Council members were upset too.
Some of the streets that you did for me about 2 or 3 years ago, they're starting to come apart.
And asked a simple question.
Are we looking at best practices when it comes to fixing up streets?
Believe me, we use all the best practices we can find.
That's Michael Cox, Director of Public Works. The man next to him is Randy Scott, the Commissioner of Streets.
Matter of fact, the commissioner and I are going to a asphalt conference next month.
This is World of Asphalt 2018.
Ah, yes, the World of Asphalt Expo in Houston. But the thing is, what can people expect when they come down here?
Sure, they can expect to learn the latest innovations.
Just 2 weeks before that committee meeting where Cox said they were ready to go to Texas, there was the National Pavement Expo happening at the convention center in, you guessed it, downtown Cleveland. This guy from Elyria went
to see what new products they have and new ideas.
The same things Cox and Scott were looking for.
To talk to vendors and people that do this all over the country.
However, according to the mayor's office, they did not have anyone attending the conference from the city. Despite the fact that this is City Hall and that convention, believe it or not, was held literally right across the street. So a month later, Cox and Scott headed to Houston. City records show their flights cost you, the taxpayer, nearly $1,000. What about hotel rooms? They stayed at the La Meridian in downtown Houston, $443.43 per person per night. That means 4 nights for 2 men cost you more than $3,500. We found much cheaper nearby hotel rates during that same time frame. $259 a night, $189 per night, and all the way down to $144 per night.
My tax dollars are being wasted.
You couldn't come to the local one and not spend the money?
Keep in mind, our research shows nearly half of the vendors at the convention in Cleveland were also at the expo in Houston.
Even Germany have made it to National Pavement Expo this year.
City records also revealed Cox and Scott rented a car. Not uncommon, of course, but their hotel was a half-mile from the convention center. The car cost $470 for their stay. Now, they did need a ride to and from the airport. If only there was a way to do that without renting a car. Oh, yeah. It's called a taxi. A cab each way, airport to hotel with tip, costs $33. So round trip, $66. Plus, taxpayers shelled out $34 a night for parking that car at the hotel.
Your Houston trip. Do you think you could sit down and talk to us about that?
Let me have a conversation with my chief.
Yeah, we tried.
I saw your request and we'll get something set up.
For days to sit down with someone from the city.
I'm trying to find out a little bit more about your story.
But once again, the city declined to be a part of our story. Look, we just wanted any details about what they learned in Houston. Can we implement anything here? Why did they take that trip in the first place? Well, the mayor's office gave us 0 documents, 0 records, or anything that lets the taxpayers know what they got for their money. Nothing. No one would sit down with us. And we weren't the only ones asking questions.
There's always something new.
So you, Chair to the Director, will you be bringing that back to us so we can take a look at?
We'll bring back what we believe to be a better practice to do.
Even with that promise, we got no information, no interview. That's too bad because we still have a lot of questions about the trip, including what these guys ate. Would you believe that Randy Scott dined on filet mignon and lobster? Now, the city's going to say, we only paid for half of that because there's a limit on dining expenses. To which I would ask, so what did the citizens pay for then? His filet or his lobster?
You know, I have to go to McDonald's and eat.
Instead of spending it on lobster, you should be spending it on our streets.
And that's the point. These are the same city leaders that begged for an income tax increase through Issue 32.
Like the mayor, I want to thank the citizens of the city of Cleveland for passage of Issue 32.
They wanted people like Facebook page Fix Our Streets owner Terry McNeil to vote for it. Terry, by the way, did go to the National Pavement Expo in downtown Cleveland.
I was shocked. I was shocked. I asked every manufacturer, had they talked to anybody from the city, and they said no.
But they spent more than $6,000 total for a 4-day stay in Houston, when they could have spent a couple $100 filling this pothole that's been here for months, and others just like it that linger.
Help, please.
I'm 5 on Your Side investigator Jonathan Walsh.